On June 13, 1996, Angie Dodge was found stabbed to death in her Idaho Falls apartment. Police launched a homicide investigation, soon learning that the 18-year-old had been assaulted before her death. Investigators zeroed in on suspect Chris Tapp, who was convicted of aiding and abetting Dodge's rape and murder and sentenced to a minimum of 30 years in prison. Tapp recanted his confession, and in 2019 he was exonerated and declared an innocent man. Investigators reopened the case and tested DNA from the crime scene against genetic genealogy databases to try and find someone related to the person that left the DNA. After a few dead ends, in 2019 the DNA search provided police with a possible suspect named Brian Dripps Sr. When they learned Dripps had lived across the street from Angie Dodge at the time of her murder, investigators bring him in for an interview.
Well, we got you some hydration. That's gonna feel a little bit better, right?
Yeah.
Well, I understand as we were coming in here and we were chatting a little bit. I'm sure you got a lot of questions for us and everything that's going on here. We obviously wanted to talk to you, but I wanted to tell you I appreciate you coming in here and talking to us. Like I said, it had something to do with the case that took place, years ago. And we're going back and reinvestigating everybody from the beginning of that case.
Okay.
And I know that you had spoken to a patrol officer at that time, and there's other people that had too that we just want to recommunicate, touch base with, and that have lived around the area there. You all right? So you're back?
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned you had some artificial parts. Is one of them in your back?
No, I got artificial hips, but I also have what's called ankylosing spondylitis.
What is that?
It's where my back is fusing itself together. And then I'm growing new bones and between my spine and my vertebrae. And my lower back is already fused. And then, yeah.
Was that a work injury or how did that happen?
No, I was born with it. It's something that nobody knew about until later on. But yeah, and then the work I did for years just screwed me up.
What did you do? What work?
Concrete.
Oh, I did concrete for a long time. That's not a good job if you're hurting on your body. Because you're usually hurting at the end of it.
I know. And then my knees, and they want to replace my knees, and all my joints in my body, because it affects all your joints in your body as well. And then I got real bad arthritis on top of it. And
holy smokes.
It's affected my esophagus. It's affected my diaphragm, or my stomach. It's affected my ribs. It's got between my muscles and my ribs. It's separating the muscles from the ribs.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get comfortable no matter where you are.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It sucks.
But you still get out and go fishing?
No.
Not anymore.
No.
Not anymore.
I hardly do anything anymore because it just sucks to be in my own body.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Hang in there.
It does. It does, man. So.
Jeez. Well, hopefully those drinks help you a little bit. I got you pissy, so. Those chairs aren't very good.
No.
We'll try to be as accommodating as we possibly can. But this was something that took place years and years ago, and it was when you were living in Idaho Falls, the Idaho Falls area.
Yeah.
It was a pretty major case on that. Because we're re-interviewing everybody, and we're here in Caldwell PD. Like I said, I'm sure you have questions for us. We're going to get to those as soon as possible. We got questions too, just to go back and stuff. But before we do that, we want you to understand what your rights are. Okay, and that's something that we do during interviews and things like that.
So here's a rights waiver, or a form that you can read, and it spells out your rights. And yeah, we'd like to. It's kind of one of those things, one of those boxes we have to check, because like Sergeant Marley brought up, you've got questions, and so do we.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions about those, or?
No.
Okay. Do you understand those? You can go ahead and sign. That's just saying that you understand your rights. Okay. Well, what questions do you have for us to begin with?
Well,
where to start?
yeah, what's basically going on?
Well, so back in
It's probably, the only thing I can think of is that murder case. It's the only thing I can think of that happened when I was living there.
Yeah. Tell us what you remember about that.
Well, I was asked what I knew about it back then.
Yeah.
And I don't remember much, because I remember, from what I remember that night was we were drinking, I was drinking with my buddies, and like I told the cops that night, we called a cab for my buddy. Cab came to pick my buddy up because I was passing out. I passed out. Woke up the next day and there was a cop car sitting out front and I went to work. And that's all I really remember. So, but that was it.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one right
Yeah.
there. What do you remember what your address was at that time? Street address?
No.
If you could.
No.
No?
No, I couldn't.
what about the general area?
I don't remember the house I lived in, I think was yellow. I think.
Okay.
Right? I don't know.
You know better than us.
I believe my house was yellow.
Okay.
I think, but that's all,
Okay. Tell us more about your house there. How long did you live there?
Let's see. I was only there maybe, because my daughter was born in June, I left in July. Because my wife came back in July, I think it was. Oh, I think I was only there maybe 7 months.
7 months? Oh, okay.
Yeah, in that house.
In that house?
Yeah.
How long did you live in Idaho Falls?
I was only there maybe a year.
A year?
Yeah.
And what brought you there?
A job.
Job?
Yeah.
Which one?
Idaho.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
What did you do out there?
I did the Pit 9 project.
What's that? Can you tell us more about that?
It was, the Pit 9 project was an old pit where they had a bunch of stuff they buried out in there and they really didn't know what it was, so we built it. Yeah, there was supposedly an ambulance buried out there. I mean, you hear all kinds of stories. Yeah, there was an ambulance buried out there. There was 3 bodies in it.
Is this one of those things that's classified that you can't tell us yet?
Yeah, but anyway, we built this new building out there across it, and they were going to dig it all up by robotics. And yeah, it's a pretty cool building, but they were going to dig it all by robotics and stuff like that. But we built a new building out there, and yeah.
And so did they dig the stuff up from the ground and put it in the building, or
Yeah, well,
nobody knows?
No, I guess what they were going to do is dig it up and move it into another building, and then reclassify it and put it in different containers, and then rebury it somewhere else.
So did you get to work that job from the beginning to the end?
No, I didn't finish it all the way to the end. We just did the concrete work on it.
Oh,
And then once the concrete was done, then I went to a different job.
Different job.
Yeah. Actually, during that job, my wife at the time ended up moving down to California, and then I ended up going down there with her.
Oh, okay. Did your wife live with you at that house, that yellow house?
No.
No, okay. Who lived with you there?
It was my superintendent, my foreman, and then another coworker.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay. You mentioned that you woke up one morning and that the police were parked in front of your house, or?
No, they were just outside in the street.
Outside in the street.
Yeah.
Where was that in relation to your house?
It was just across the street.
Oh,
yeah, kind of down the street a little bit.
Okay, and I think I've seen the map. Your house was like right across the street. Pretty close.
I think so. I think, my house was here where I was living, and I think that house was like right here or something like that. Okay. I think, from what I remember.
Okay. That morning that you woke up, was it just you, or was your superintendent and your foreman there also, or?
No, that morning it was just me.
Just you.
And my dog.
And your dog.
Yeah.
Same German Shepherd
no,
kind of dog again, or no?
No, I didn't have a German Shepherd.
Nothing like that.
No.
So did you know anybody involved in that? I mean, if you guys were practically across the street neighbors,
No.
Were you familiar with that area at all, or?
No, not really. I mean, I lived there, but, I just, I was just familiar with the area from living there is about it.
Okay.
So,
but you didn't know personally who the people that lived in the house where that happened?
No.
No. Never seen them?
Well, I'd seen them, but that'd be it, just coming and going. But that'd be it.
And never spoke?
Nope.
Okay. Do you remember who it was that you'd seen coming and going from there? Or?
No, I saw, a girl coming and going a couple times, but that'd be about it, I think.
Okay.
But I don't really remember a whole lot.
Do you remember what her name was?
No.
No. As far as you know, how many people lived over there?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you.
Was there a lot of traffic?
I couldn't
In and out of there?
I couldn't tell you. I would have no idea.
What was your schedule like at that time?
My what?
Your schedule, like your work schedule.
Oh, it was 10-hour days.
But out at the site.
Oh, wait. No, that time it wasn't. Because I was done out at that site. I was filling out paperwork. I was getting paperwork for the second to highest badge clearance for out at the site. I was doing that, and I was working a part-time gig with a friend of mine out at at his mom's place. We were doing a deck. So, but we were still working pretty much subs. We were just doing deck work. But I was working with him.
So you were gone a lot.
Yeah, we're working, just trying to get some money going. And then I was also working with a lady, but I can't remember her name whatsoever.
Okay.
Trying to get that paperwork.
Right. You had mentioned that your foreman and supervisor, superintendent, whatever that was, lived with you, and they were gone at that time. Where were they at?
Yeah, they were moving over to Washington.
Moving to Washington.
Yeah.
Okay.
For another job?
Yeah, because they were getting ready actually to take a job. If I believe correctly, they were going to Alaska. Because, they were going to go to Alaska, I think. Because they wanted me to go up there, but they were going to go non-union up there. And I didn't want to take that because non-union in Alaska would have been a bad idea.
Like less money, or?
No, it's just, Alaska's a lot of union workers, and it would have pissed a lot of people off, so I didn't want to do that.
Well, a murder right across the street's kind of a big deal. Did you?
Yeah.
You don't remember hearing anything more about that, or nobody ever talked about it, or you?
No, I remember hearing it on the news, but that was about it, and didn't really talk about it, no. Because I didn't know her or nothing, but, we thought, wow, that's kind of crazy that it happened right across the street, but,
Okay.
that was just about it.
So you guys weren't neighbors that chatted or smoked together?
No.
Or hung out together?
No.
Was that neighbor ever over at your house?
No.
Okay, and you were never over at her
No.
house? Okay.
No.
So you said that you went out drinking that night with your buddies, but it wasn't your roommates or your superintendent?
No.
It was some other people?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a guy I was doing side work with.
Oh, the deck guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you happen to remember his name?
John, I think was his first name. John. I'm bad with names.
That's what Facebook's for now.
Oh my.
I'm not Facebook friends with him either.
Uh-huh.
But it should be in the original report, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember what year that was? What date and year that was? You had to think hard.
Well, it'd be easy because it was the year my daughter was born. So she's, she's 22. Yeah, she's 22. So it was 22 years ago. So it was 22 years ago.
22 years ago. Well, it saves you the math on that.
Sounds right.
Yeah, sounds right.
I'll bust out a calculator, take off my shoes or something.
All right.
Oh, something like that.
Did any other neighbors talk to you about what had gone on? Were you?
No.
No.
Well, the lady that was downstairs, she took me to the police station, actually.
Oh.
You know.
What was her name?
I couldn't tell you.
And she lived downstairs from you?
Yeah. Yeah, she lived in the downstairs apartment.
And she took you to the police station?
Yeah.
To speak with the officer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tell us more about that. When she took you there?
Well, I don't know. She just came upstairs and said, hey, let's go to the police station. You know, the cops, want to talk to us about what happened across the street. I do remember that now, since you mentioned it. That did jar a little memory. But I don't remember her name, because like I said, I can't remember names.
Okay.
But
so it was like a apartment complex that you lived in, or?
no, it was just a house that had a basement where it was an upstairs, and he rented out, and then he rented out the downstairs as an apartment as well.
Okay. What, tell us what you remember from speaking with the police officer. Do you remember who it was, or what was said, or anything that?
No, he just basically asked me, do I remember anything? I think, and I told him, well, no, not really. I remember, I do remember speaking to a bicycle cop that night, because he was giving us crud because we were walking home, and he was threatening to just throw us in jail for being publicly drunk.
On his bike?
Yeah.
Was he gonna?
He said he would call a cruiser to come pick us up.
Oh, okay. Do you remember who that was?
No.
Where was that?
Somewhere between the bar and the house.
What bar?
I know. It was a downstairs bar downtown.
The Crown?
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar? The Crown?
What's that? I couldn't tell you.
Downstairs bar.
It was a downstairs.
Do you remember what time that officer stopped you on the bike?
It was after the bar was closed.
Okay.
Do you remember who you were with that night?
No, just that little John and some other guys.
Some other guys?
Yeah.
Did you know those other guys at all?
A little bit. They were mostly John's friends. I think his name was John. I think. I will say John. So.
Okay.
But.
All right. So, you lived across the street in a yellow house. Your downstairs neighbor took you. You guys both went in and talked to the police after that, because they obviously had some questions for you. But you don't remember what the police asked you or what was going on.
I just basically asked me if I heard anything, saw anything.
Yeah. The basics. Kind of what went on.
Yeah.
Okay. But prior to that, you were at the bar, downstairs basement bar, and you were walking home.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the bicycle cop was giving us crud. We made it home. I started passing out. Called the cab for my buddy. The cab driver came. And I passed out.
Okay.
That was it.
And do you remember what time you walked home?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. Do you remember what time you called the cab for your buddy, or?
No, I'm thinking, I don't know, 2:30 sounds familiar for some reason, but
Okay.
I don't know, 2:30.
2:30.
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay. Great. Is there anything else about that time? I know it's a stretch. Is there anything about that time that you could tell us that shed some light on who would come and go from that area, or anything about the victim there, or anything about the neighborhood that was weird, or anything suspicious?
No, not really. I mean, not that I can think of, man. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I think we already asked, but was there anybody that you saw coming and going from that apartment?
No.
So you guys didn't roll in the same circles then?
No.
You didn't have mutual friends
No.
with that person?
No.
She never came over? You never went over? Just...
Yeah, no.
You're too busy working?
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't, like I said, I'd maybe see her once in a while when I'd be getting in my truck leaving, and she'd be getting in her car, going somewhere, or getting out of her car. Maybe that'd be it.
All right.
What kind of truck did you drive at the time?
67 Chevy.
Ah, you remember that?
Hell yeah. I still had it until my body gave out on me, and then I had to get rid of it.
Get something a little smoother ride?
No, I gotta stand up.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I
Can I
can't.
give you a help?
Oh.
Get you out of here.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
What color was that 67?
It was blue.
Blue.
Oh. No, I had to get rid of it 'cause for 3 years I had no income until I got on disability.
Okay. All right. Well, I think let's go see if we can find that original report when the officer spoke to you, and we'll be right back, okay?
Yeah. And maybe I'll see if I can find you another chair.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find a pet. With a softer chair?
Oh, it don't matter. It just sucks. You don't have a number to get out.
With a softer chair? I'm not familiar with this building. Maybe we are taking a break. There we go.
Nice.
Thanks, Fred. You think this, we were looking for 3 other people.
Well, that's what the Dateline thing said.
What else do you remember from the Dateline thing?
That was just about it. There was that kid that they did arrest and got charged with it, and that the mom, I guess, said that he never did it or whatever, and that he finally got out. And then, like I said, I remember that they were looking for another guy, I guess, a third guy or whatever.
So you do know something about the crime?
Yeah, I do remember something about it now. We've been talking about it, yeah.
Was there other murders that happened in your neighborhood that we have gotten confused with, or no? No, okay.
No, but now that we've been talking about it, yeah, he jarred some memories.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, shoot, that was, 20-some years
20-some years ago, yeah.
Did you recognize that guy from the Dateline stuff?
No.
Or recognize any of the information you saw in the Dateline?
No, I didn't even recognize the house from the Dateline stuff, to be honest.
So when you saw the guy on the Dateline, you didn't know him? You didn't know he was associated there?
No, I didn't even know he lived in Idaho Falls. I didn't know who he was or nothing. So.
All right.
Would you be able to say if he was one of the 6 or so guys that was friends with John?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't.
Okay. And you didn't know him at all then?
No.
Do you remember what his name was from the show?
No, not really.
And you haven't heard anything since then?
Nope. Just what I remember from that show.
What do you remember from that?
What I just told you.
That there was 3 guys.
That's what they thought they said on the show. So.
Do you stay in contact with any of the associations you made in Idaho Falls?
No.
No?
No. No, and pretty much since I've become disabled, everybody's disassociated with me.
So up until you became disabled, did you have any contact with the people over in Idaho Falls?
No.
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 A group of friends you hung out with, or?
No, the only one I really hung out with was that John guy over there.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you finally, told us some things that you remember from that. It was hard for me to believe that you could live across the street and that case could be that big at the time and you not remember anything.
Well, a lot of it is my memory works weird anyway, but if it's not important to me or if it's something that didn't concern me, I just kind of let it go and forget about it. Until something jars my memory, like, been in here talking and it's like, oh yeah, I think I remember, but, I don't remember a lot of things. I can be told something and turn around and forget it, 2 seconds later.
Okay. So we mentioned that, we have the report from Officer Rogers speaking to you. You come down to the station, speak with him.
Yeah.
We also have, like we said, that there was somebody they're pretty certain that they spoke with a Brian, and we think it could be you.
Yeah.
The next day or like very shortly after the crime in that area. Do you remember anything like that?
Not really, no. And like I said, if I did talk to someone, it'd just be kind of, chatting about it like, wow, that'd be crazy, that it'd be so close that it happened, right across the street and, not knowing her, but it'd just be crazy that it happened.
We have a little bit more than that from the witnesses that were there. They seem to really believe and were able to state that you had connections with that place or with people that associated coming and going from that apartment. That they mentioned you. It's a pretty good, they're putting you there that you were an associate of theirs or an acquaintance of theirs, or there's no reason why
No,
you've never been in that apartment.
Nope. Never been there, never talked to the gal, never talked to anybody over there. Never been on that side of the street.
But the witness said you had more than that. You were associates with them at the very least. And they called you by name. They said your name was Brian. You was a neighbor.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't me.
We haven't been able to find anyone else.
Well, I don't know what they're talking about then, but I wasn't associated with her.
Okay.
I never talked to the gal. I never been in that apartment. So, it wasn't me.
So, and I hope you understand, like, we are not here to deal with like weed or stupid petty charges.
Yeah.
Was there anybody that you ran around with at that time that maybe you smoked weed with, maybe you would have had a little bit of a drug connection? Because there's been some reference that her homicide was in relation to a drug debt or some sort of a drug crime.
No. Not that no.
And all of her inner circle smoked weed. And like I said, that's not a big deal. All of her inner circle smoked weed, so you never went over there to...
Nope. Never went over there to smoke weed, never bought weed from her, never associated with her, never nothing from her. I never talked to the girl.
Did you ever smell, some weed smoke coming from the house or anything like that?
No. No.
Do you know if she had a boyfriend?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Like I said, I didn't see her that often, just from coming and going to her car once in a while. That's all I really saw her.
Did you smoke weed back then? Did you?
Yeah.
You hung around with people that did? And
if I found them, yeah, but...
How would you find them?
Just by, hanging out with people and, eventually it comes out. But, and usually it'd be work buddies. way I'd, find them.
So if you're smoking mostly with work buddies, that could be a wide range of age groups. I mean, It could be people 10 years younger than you, it could be people 10 years older than you, or people your same age.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason we keep going over this, we're trying to figure out if your guys' circles ran together.
Yeah.
Because we have witnesses that say, this guy named Brian, who's her neighbor, knows her.
Yeah, I know, but I never knew her, though.
I know.
But
you also told us you didn't know anything about the murder that took place across the street.
I know that.
And now you're like, they're looking for 3 people.
Because that came from Dateline.
Right. Well, you never mentioned Dateline in the beginning.
Well, no.
That you had
about Dateline.
Because I asked you specifically, do you know anything about this crime?
Well, you said crime, and at first you didn't say what crime it was when we were in the car. You said crime.
But I know, but there's not a lot of murders that happen across the street.
No, but I was thinking crime. What kind of crime was it? I mean,
right.
You just said crime.
So,
yeah. You left it vague. You got to be word specific. I'm a very word specific kind of guy.
Okay. I'll try to be very word specific in the future so we get. So we're talking about the murder that happened across the street.
Yeah.
And you seem to know about that.
Yeah, I do from, like I said, Dateline.
From Dateline. Okay. We have witnesses that, and then the CPO thing, that could be a mix-up. You told us that you filed for a CPO. We find out that she filed for a CPO.
I thought it was a CPO when I went in and filed the abandonment charge, but apparently it wasn't a CPO when you asked me about a CPO. That's what I thought it was the abandonment charge. I went and filed, but apparently when she filed for a divorce, she filed the CPO, which I didn't realize there was one.
Right. And the civil protection order, though, would have to indicate a reason.
Yeah.
And you're saying...
No, it wasn't. She just filed it to make it look better for her case and the divorce, apparently.
But usually you have to have a reason to even get it.
Well,
they have to appear in front of a judge, and the judge has to say, reads why you want a CPO. And usually, the majority of the ones that we deal with are acts of violence.
Yeah.
Domestic violence or whatnot.
But there was no violence.
Did she ever accuse you of domestic violence?
No.
Never an accusation, even?
No.
Okay. And then, of course, the witness that says a guy named Brian, her neighbor, was associated with her.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm like, because I never associated her with at all. The only one I associated was the girl downstairs.
To what extent did you associate with her?
Well, one time I went to a park with her daughter and hung out. And then the other time I hung out with her downstairs and watched the movie.
Was there any kind of a romantic association there?
No.
Do you remember, what was her name again?
The other report said it was Camille.
And you wouldn't remember her name, or?
I didn't remember it until I read the report.
Okay.
So did that jog your memory?
Yeah.
Or is that something? So now you can remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the report taught my memory what her name was. And now that I read that report, that night of the movie that we watched, she invited me downstairs, come to think of it, and she was in nothing but a bathrobe.
And?
I was a good boy. I was a good boy.
So you knew Camille a little bit then?
Yeah. But
she wanted to know you.
Well, I don't know.
A little bit better, probably.
Maybe, maybe not, but I didn't try nothing. I just sat there and watched the movie with her. After the movie was over, I went back upstairs. Went to bed. And like I said, went to I've been went to the park with her a couple times.
That takes some integrity. I mean, you're going through a divorce. You're separated from your wife.
There's a civil protection order.
Yeah, and your neighbor is putting the moves on you, and you're able to be a good boy, as you put it.
Yeah.
What other things did you do with Camille?
That was about it that I can recall. Those are the only two things that I really recall. We talked a little bit, once in a while in meeting and passing, because the laundry room was on the back porch. That's where the laundry room was for both places. So, and she would always leave her shit in the laundry room, or in the washer or dryer.
And she will tell us that your relationship had nothing? You went to the park a few times and watched a movie.
Oh, so yeah, but that's all we did was that's if she remembered, but that's all we did. We went to the park. I remember. Yeah, and we watched a movie one time. I remember. And then she took me to the police station that time.
And did Camille know the neighbor that got killed?
I don't know if she did or not. I can't remember. Maybe, but I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I can't remember.
Okay.
If she did know her, how do you think she knew her?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'd just be speculating and tossing a coin in the air and guessing. So.
And we don't want you to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I really can't tell you.
Okay. And you don't remember when you were served the CPO, what the CPO said?
No, I just remember getting served divorce papers. Like I said, nothing to mention it. Because when he sent the CPO the first time, I thought it was when I went down here in '99 to file the abandonment charges against her. I thought that created the CPO.
No.
And then the witness that puts you there, puts a Brian there.
Yeah.
You're the only Brian that we know. They say you're associated with them. We know that Angie's friends from that time, the victim's friends at that time, they smoked weed.
Yeah.
They smoked weed. And you were smoking weed, but your circles never mixed.
Not that I recall, no.
Did you ever use meth at that time?
No.
No?
No. I was staying away from that shit. I had been off of it for a while.
You'd been off of it for a while?
Yeah. Yeah, because earlier I was on it, but by then I'd already been off for, let's see, that was what, you said 96?
Mm-hmm.
5 years like that. It's been clean.
I know that there for a while meth was super heavy and a lot of contract work or concrete work.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but I got clean off of it, like I said, because I lost myself in it for a little while, but then I got clean.
Good for you.
I've been clean since.
Clean
Off of the meth.
off the meth. That's good.
Yep. Because it was no good, and it does no good.
What about now with other things? What about with marijuana?
You're not gonna arrest me, are you?
Listen, I'll tell you right now, marijuana is the least of our problems.
I use marijuana for pain and anxiety, but I use marijuana as well.
Right.
Still, but that's it.
Okay.
I don't drink. I don't nothing. Just a little bit of marijuana.
When did you stop drinking?
Oh. Let's see, 2009, 2010. It was somewhere around there. 2010.
Was there something specific that or was it just time?
Tired of drinking, tired of waking up. Just tired of drinking, basically. We didn't see the point in it anymore. Didn't get the pleasure of it anymore. So, it just seemed pointless. Plus, now I'm on so many medications that it would not do me any good anyway. Plus, some of the medications that would screw me up.
Yeah. They don't mix well.
Yeah. No, they don't. But
so besides the officer saying talking to you saying that you live there and our witness who says they talked to a Brian and some other things, I mean, is there anything else that would tie you to Angie and to her apartment?
No, and like I said, I never talked to her, never hung out with her, and no, that's fine.
I know, that's why we just keep rehashing this over and over, because we got witnesses that say Brian, her neighbor, was at least an associate with her.
That's what I thought.
And so there would be no evidence or these witnesses are mistaken, and there would be no evidence that would put you at her place or her at your place.
Correct. I was never there. She was never at my place.
All right. And we're just trying to find that connection there. Yeah. And I thought it might have been because of weed. I mean, if you smoke pot with them or whatever, you know.
I know, but like I said, she was never at my place. And yeah, unless maybe sometime at some other gathering, it just happened. We were both at the same place, and but
they were pretty specific. It says her neighbor Brian, has been there.
No, I've never been over there.
And then another thing is we have officers, the ones that left were speaking to your mom.
Yeah.
They found marijuana and stuff like that, which isn't a big deal right now. They found the marijuana, so we know that you were using marijuana back then, and her friends were marijuana users, so we thought maybe that was a connection.
Yeah.
That you guys shared mutual friends or bought marijuana from the same person.
Well, maybe we might have done that, but I don't know.
Did you ever speak to anybody other than her that was coming out of her place? People coming and going, girlfriends that she might have had, or male friends, or a boyfriend?
No.
Because the witnesses seem that they knew you, and you're telling us that you don't remember any neighbors except for Camille. Was that her name? Camille?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't remember talking to anybody in that neighborhood except for her. But we have witnesses that know you by name.
I know. No, I don't remember any of it. No, I don't remember talking to anybody but Camille.
Do you think that's strange, or I mean, what would explain not remembering any of it?
I don't know. No, it's not strange to me at all. It's not strange to me at all. Because, like I said, my memory don't. Certain things I can remember and certain things I don't.
And what causes that?
I have no idea.
What things can you remember?
Oh, things I want to, and just things I don't.
So things you don't want to remember, you don't remember?
Well, it's like I can't remember any of the streets I grew up on, or any of the streets I ever lived on. Like those questions they ask you for security questions, right? Yeah, what streets have you lived on? Yeah, right. I can't do that. I can't remember shit that happened, a year ago, But conversations I can remember to the T if it's a particular conversation from years ago. But then again, if it's a conversation that is meaningless to me, then I don't remember.
So if you had to categorize the things that you remember versus the things that you don't, I mean, what label would you put on those?
Well, if it has to do with weed, it's not important to me, so I don't remember it. It's just, it's a weed thing, so it's over here.
Well, most people would consider the murder of their next door neighbor or across the street neighbor pretty traumatic. That might be something that they would remember.
It's traumatic, but again, it didn't have nothing to do with me.
It does, though, because a witness pointed you out.
Well, now it
at
does.
The time.
Yeah, I know. Now it does. That I can tell, but
here we are.
At the time, it didn't. So, but
here we are, 20-something years later, and it has something to do with you.
Yeah, but I can't remember shit from 20 years later because it happened 20 years ago, and at the time, it was traumatic, but it didn't have nothing to do with me at the time.
In a way it did. I mean, the police spoke to you.
Oh, I know, but I was just living in the neighborhood, so they spoke to me as living in the neighborhood, wanted to know if I saw or heard anything living in the neighborhood as cameras in the neighborhood.
So if something significant had happened, you would have remembered.
Yeah, but since nothing significant happened, it was dark, I was drunk, I passed out, and nothing banged or no loud noises, no screeching of tires, no nothing.
Have you ever passed out like that before?
Oh God, I can't count the times. I mean, the most interesting time was I passed out and I woke up with a little kid poking me on the chest going, "Who are you?" And I'm going, "I don't know. Who are you?"
So where were you?
I ended up over at my sister's ex-girlfriend's house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was back in the 80s. Or late 80s. Or no, that was early 90s. I don't know. Yeah, somewhere back then.
And you obviously remembered the gun being pulled on you prior to your military service. That was
That happened to me.
traumatic, yeah.
That happened to me. There again, it concerned me.
Right. Well, I think you realize now that the homicide, the murder concerns you.
Yeah, because someone's saying that.
And that's the holes that we have and that we're trying to fill because we have witnesses who identify you being there. We also have an officer who spoke to you, and there's a huge gap from what they wrote in their report. They said that you came home at 11:30. This was the time, right? You came home at 11:30, and then
you can go. Well, you
and then
can't go to the bar now because
right. And hold on, and then you told the officer that you had left, and you didn't come back till 3 o'clock. So we have a time between 11:30 midnight to 3 o'clock in the morning where you weren't around.
But he also didn't write in there that he didn't write in there that we called the cab. He didn't write the cab company down in there, which I don't remember what it is now. He also didn't write in there that I was with my buddy.
Did you tell him all of this?
Oh, yeah. I gave him the name and everything. And Camille was there with me.
Because before you couldn't remember much. This was when you went to the station with Camille.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
so that was coming to me because there again, it's concerning me. So now it's starting to come back to me.
Okay. When you came home at whatever time, 3 in the morning, you said it was quiet.
Yeah.
You said it was quiet, nothing, no sounds, no nothing.
Yeah.
And then when you woke up in the morning, the police were there.
There was a top person across the way when I got up to go to work. Yeah.
What time was that?
I don't know. I think it was somewhere around 7 or 8.
7 or 8 in the morning?
Yeah.
Holy cow! You were up till 3 o'clock in the morning drinking, and you got up at 7 or 8 to go to work. So nobody was there when you came home from the bar, but they were there when you woke up around 7 or 8 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when do you think that crime was reported?
Don't know.
Well, it had to have been
sometime between 3 and 7 or 8, apparently.
3 and 7 or 8.
Yeah.
When do you think that crime occurred?
Somewhere during the night.
So could it be somewhere during the night of that hole in the report from 11:30 to 3 a.m.?
I don't know.
But it's possible.
Maybe.
And that's just kind of why we wanted to get some answers. That's why we're here, because we have people specifically pointing you out as being there.
Yep.
We find out you are living across the street.
Yep.
And we find a report that doesn't place you anywhere between, 11:30 at night to 3 in the morning.
Yeah, because the police didn't write the
crime.
And that's correct.
Right, and that could very well be. But you understand why.
I know where you're coming from too, but he didn't write the correct report.
Right. And then we know that in that weed circle, you were involved, and her friends were heavily involved.
Well, maybe not in the same circle.
It's just odd that two neighbors who witnesses say know each other are not involved in that same circle.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, I can see your point of view, but like I said, I've never been to her place, and she's never been over to my place.
What if we had witnesses that put you at her place?
Well, I don't know. Then you do, but I can't remember ever being over there.
Is it possible that you just can't remember and that you've been over there?
Maybe, but like I said, I don't ever remember being there.
So what would put you over there?
Nothing that I can think of except for maybe weed, but, like I said, I've never been there.
So you've never been there, or you don't remember being there?
I've never been there, but for memory service, I don't recall being there, but I've never been there for what I recall. I could have been there on a tape on one time to get high, but, you know, it could have been on one time, but who knows? I don't recall it.
Would that have been a friend that you guys shared, or you just, or would you know that she smoked weed and been like, hey,
that would have been a friend that we shared, would have been the only way. But there again, it would have been just an acquaintance that I knew through somebody. So, or maybe a friend that I forgot about, but who knows?
Okay. Because I think the officers were speaking to your mom, and she told them something to the effect that if there was a weed circle back then, that you would have known.
Probably, yeah. But there's multiple weed circles too, you know.
So like you on your side of the street have one, and the other, the other side of the street has their own, and they never.
Because I've known that around here.
But it's the same now as I'm sure it was then. You know, you went to bars that were close because you were walking.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people who are smoking weed are just walking, and so those.
Well,
circles,
I know, but I'd have to drive to go get mine.
Oh, would you?
Where I'd get mine was across town. Yeah, because I'd get mine from John.
Okay. And where did John live?
He lived across town somewhere. I can't remember for sure where, but.
But even with that being the case, you might have smoked weed over at Angie's house with a mutual friend.
It could have been possible, but I don't recall.
Okay. I'm just saying you don't know anything specific about John other than now that he was the one you were getting the weed from.
Yeah.
Does his last name ring a bell to you at all now, or?
Brody's the only thing that comes to mind, like I said.
Brody.
And is there like a specific memory that's tied to? I mean, why you're remembering Brody?
No.
And no idea how if John knows anybody in the victim circle.
Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. There again.
Okay. We're just trying to fill those gaps, you know what I mean? Those holes.
Oh, I know.
The witness thing is really throwing us off.
Oh, I know. That's throwing me off too. But like I said, I don't recall being over there or nothing, man. So.
And like Sergeant Marley explained, with us reopening this case and reinvestigating it, new things coming to light, it's really upon us to
I know.
Answer all these kinds of questions. So we appreciate you.
Yeah. Oh, I know. But like I said, I don't recall being over there, I don't recall ever going up there or her being over at the house, nothing like that. So, and it's possible, that, through a mutual friend, that we ended up somehow smoking weed together at one point in time. But that was it.
And how do you think that would have transpired?
I have no idea. I couldn't even tell you. Just sitting around smoking weed one time.
So you're saying it's possible that you smoked weed with her, but you don't remember ever smoking weed with her?
Yeah.
So if we had a witness that could put you there, is that witness lying or are you lying?
I don't know. I didn't tell you because, like I said, I don't remember. I don't remember being there. So, I don't know who's lying.
You probably would remember, though, if you had associated or smoked weed with a woman who was later murdered.
Probably, yeah. I probably would have remembered that, but I don't remember ever being over there or smoking weed with her or anything.
So you were never, as far as you remember, you're never over there.
No.
That's just odd.
Oh, I know from your point of view, but, like I said, the report that the cop took my statement from is pretty vague.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just his though. I mean, there's other people.
But there's other people that are saying that I was there, but
Right.
I don't remember being there.
Yeah, everybody was interviewed at that time. Neighbors,
Yeah.
people that went through the, back and forth, friends that she had, all of her friends.
Yeah.
During the investigation, they had taken DNA samples. They had taken, people had volunteered their DNA. They had came in for interviews. There's lots and lots of people that were involved, and so it's just odd that they say a guy named Brian, who was her neighbor, knew her.
Oh, I know.
And then we find the only guy named Brian that lives across the street from her.
I know.
That rolls in possibly the same weed circles.
Oh, I know.
The other thing that's strange to me is the officer that took your report, he took a lot of reports.
Yeah.
And he was pretty good at marking down all the names and what specifically people told him.
Well, that's what I told him, though.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know. It's strange to me that you told him about John and something else.
I told him everything I just told you guys about the cab, about everything, about the police officer on the bike.
Because the witnesses were pretty detailed about you, even giving us your name. Okay.
What do you say I look like? Or they say I look like?
Close to 6 foot.
Yeah. Brown hair.
Brown eyes. Close to 200 pounds.
What kind of hair?
We'd have to look at it again. Brown hair? I don't know. I think it was brown hair.
I think so.
I don't know.
Long,
but
short.
It's the big name. It's the name that really gets us.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I know. But like I said, it's possible I might have been over there, but I don't know.
But you couldn't give us any detail of when you were ever over there.
No, because I don't remember it.
Well. Anything else yet? We go.
Yeah, we can take a quick break.
I want to look at that statement again because it's weird that they name you as the neighbor and the acquaintance and put me over there. But I understand. You told us multiple times you were never over there.
I know. Like I said, maybe I was there. Maybe I wasn't.
I know that they canvassed the area then. Did you ever give like a written statement or?
I think I might have, but I can't remember.
Okay. What about did they swab your DNA, swab for DNA, anything like that?
I don't think so.
I know that they had, how many people did they swab?
Over 100.
Over 100, yeah.
It might have been just because you moved out of the area, they weren't able to get to it.
Did they? Okay. And so no, an officer when you spoke to them never asked for a swab?
I don't think so. Maybe not.
Okay. All right, let's go look at that list then.
Okay.
No swab. We'll be right back. You were right, Brian. Looking through the files of the 150 or whatever it was, over 100 people that didn't give a sample, you didn't, and that might have been because you'd said that you'd left like June, the end of June, 1st of July.
Somewhere around there when Nicole came back and said, "Hey, you want to move to California with me?" I'm like, sure.
Okay.
So,
Well, we would like to get a sample from you, a buccal swab or a DNA sample. Is that something you'd be willing to do?
It's really unintrusive. It's just a swab that goes
I know it is. I just don't like the simple fact that my DNA will be in some database. That's all.
Well, I can understand that, but this is kind of
I know.
Your DNA actually wouldn't get submitted to the database. It would be compared against something else. It's not in a database, basically.
Right.
It'll just be compared to what you got on file.
Yeah, and what we told you in the beginning is technology is going to leaps and bounds from what were able to do back then and what we have now. So,
And if I refuse, then what? You get a court order and make me get one?
yeah.
And if I take one, will you take me home then? Then what?
Well, we still want some. We still got some questions to ask you.
What's the same old questions you've been asking? I'm not going to tell you the story. It's going to be the same old story.
I know, but as we've gone along, you've been able to remember a little bit. Like, I've never heard of anything about the murder other than there was a cop. To I've seen a movie on Dateline or.
And I know that you said that as we've talked, it's jogged your memory. What we're hoping for is that as we continue to talk, it'll continue to jog your memory. We appreciate that this is a 23-year-old thing.
Oh, I know.
And so if we can get those swabs and then continue to ask you some more questions, then we can
take to get back on them swabs.
I mean, it all depends on the state lab.
It depends on the lab.
We have to get a call and ask them.
There's times where we've got them pretty quick.
I got it.
And there's times where you've waited for a while. So I don't know, it just varies. I couldn't give you a time. Hours, days, weeks, I have no idea.
A lot of that depends on their caseload and what their staffing is like today. So, but is that something you're willing to do, is to provide a DNA sample in the form of those swabs?
I don't know.
Or do we? Well, it seems like you're a little hesitant. Is there a reason that you're hesitant?
Yeah, because I don't like my DNA, but let's just do it. I just don't want my DNA in the database, but let's just do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Is there any reason that you think your DNA would be at that crime scene?
No.
No reason that fingerprints or DNA or anything biological from you would be there?
Shouldn't be, no.
What was that?
Shouldn't be, no.
Shouldn't be.
Yeah, because like I said, I wasn't in there. So.
Okay. Shouldn't be kind of worries me a little bit. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
it's like when
I know.
It's like when I ask somebody, are there drugs in your car? And they say, well, there shouldn't be.
I know it. Let's do it.
We understand. And we'll get them en route right now to take that swab. And it's really unintrusive. It's just a swab. And like Sage said, I guess it doesn't go to the database. It's compared to what we have. And we've been able to collect a lot more since then. We've been able to process things that were under-processed because of technology back in the day. And we've been able to process things from the scene that were never processed originally. So there's a lot to go off of. And you being so close, in proximity, next door neighbor, people pointing you out, and you're the one of few that didn't give a DNA.
Oh, I know.
Okay. I'll step out really quick. You guys want to continue? I'll just step out really quick and make sure that we get that processed, so we get that swab taken, and as quick as we can.
So I do want to kind of alleviate your concern. It doesn't go into a database. It's not something that will get checked against 23andMe or any of those other things.
No, I know. Are you going to keep me here until you get the results?
I don't know that we'll necessarily have to do that. I mean, we still have other questions to ask you, and there's a process to everything. I'm sure you appreciate that. And so we get the swabs, we figure some things out, we ask a few more questions. We've got people who are pulling over records just to make sure, because since we reopened this investigation, we don't want to waste your time or anybody else's. And so we want to make sure we get all the questions asked now that we can, and give you the opportunity, of course, to ask us anything. Is there something specific that you're worried about getting home for?
No, I just want to go home and get comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. They're gonna route right now to take that sample.
Okay, great.
What did I miss?
He just would like to get home and get comfortable. We talked a little bit more about how that his DNA won't end up in the database as a result of this. It's just compare against what we have on scene, what was collected at the scene. So.
Okay. Well, they should get here soon, and we can grab that. But I know the circumstances that brought us together. We've explained those, and I know that you can't really explain why, and neither can we, obviously, until we talk to you. I was hoping that we'd be able to fill some of those, but
I know.
You were asking how fast we'd get those results. I mean, what would you anticipate those results would be?
Negative.
Yeah, you haven't. It's been pretty clear that you've told us you've never been there.
Yeah. I don't recall ever being there.
Okay.
So.
And are you sure that you don't know of anybody else that has been over there? Are you trying to protect anybody? John, maybe, if he was dealing weed and he ran in those circles, I can't imagine that he would know the neighbors across the street that used. I mean, is there something, not you specifically, but is there someone or some situation that you're just trying to protect? Because we've got witnesses that put you there.
Yeah, well, at some point in time at the house, yeah. I don't know. I can't.
Okay. And I know this was a long time ago, and it's super serious. It's a big case.
Oh, I know.
You don't get bigger than this.
I know. Like I said, the only thing I can think of would be just I was hanging out with some people, and randomly they wanted to go there. Somehow I ended up there. It's the only thing I could think of. It would be the only reason why I ended up there.
Would that kind of thing happen during the day or
Yeah,
the
during
evening?
the day.
During the day while you were working?
Well, it would have been between the jobs. Because after the pit 9 job, I wasn't working every day.
Oh, okay. Why wouldn't it be at night?
Oh, I don't know. Don't always go looking at night for weed.
Well, I mean, smoking.
Don't always smoke it at
You don't
night.
smoke it at night either?
No, I'm an all-day smoker.
Sorry, what was that?
I said I'm an all-day smoker.
An all-day smoker.
Well, that's another angle too. Obviously, we want to ask you the questions of where you're at in the time frame, and we've explained the gap in the time frame, but you've explained that well. The witness is still a big question of why they would put you there. But my thing is too is if you weren't involved, but if somebody close to you was involved, are you trying to protect them or keep them out of this? Because it seems like John, you told me that.
Over in a heartbeat.
Well, you told me that John knows everybody and everybody knows John.
I know.
And then now you tell me that he's a weed dealer.
Yeah, I know. I just said he might know of her, but I just said I don't know his last name. It might be Brody, but I don't know.
Okay. And you don't know where we can find him now, or?
Nope.
Because, if we find John, you say you're with John, so he could potentially help you out.
I know. I know it.
Is there anybody other than John that you might be protecting, or?
No. I ain't protecting nobody.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we're going to have to.
I wonder if those cab records are in the old RMS system. And if Victoria could get a hold of them.
Maybe. That's something we should. Where did the cab pick John up at?
Up in front of the house.
Okay.
That might all be there with the pawn slip stuff and everything else. And what time do you think the cab came?
I don't remember. Clue.
No clue.
What's the cab company's name?
No. What time you guys called the cab?
I thought it was around 2:30, but I don't know.
Okay.
2:30 in the morning?
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I don't know, because I guess that report said 3:30. Or 3 or something, but I don't know.
When did you call for the cab in relation to getting home?
Once we got to the house.
Oh, you immediately called for a cab for him.
Yeah,
You immediately called for a cab.
I think so, but I don't know. It was shortly after we got to the house.
Okay. So that would be about bar closing time?
Yeah, pretty close. It was, yeah.
You close that place down?
Closed it down, then we hung out for a little while longer.
Yeah.
Because like I said, John knew the people. So.
All right. Well, this could be easy enough to, once the samples are. I mean, have you ever been fingerprinted? Because we've taken some fingerprints from the scene too.
Oh yeah. I've got fingerprints on file.
What's that from?
I have DUIs from back in the 90s.
DUIs? Okay.
Yeah.
What jurisdiction?
Huh?
Who arrested you? What police agency?
This one.
Oh, Caldwell.
Yeah.
But you don't remember if it was
Or the sheriff's department.
So either Canyon?
Yeah.
Do you remember if it was Canyon ISP or Caldwell?
Do what?
Do you remember which one it was, or are you sure it was the sheriff's office?
It was the sheriff's office.
Okay.
91. And then, let's see, 2000. Somewhere around 2006, I think. I got some fingerprints at Homeland Security because I got an airport security badge.
Oh, okay. What was that for?
We did a job out at the airport, so I had to get security clearance to bypass security, and they gave me extra clearance to escort people on and off the airport, and also able to drive on the tarmac.
Oh. So they do a pretty in-depth background check for that stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
For those security clearances?
Yeah.
During that time, on the security clearances, were you ever asked to take a polygraph examination?
No.
No? Would you be willing to take a polygraph examination on this one?
Yeah, but it probably wouldn't do much good because of my shakes and everything.
Well, I think that they can mitigate all that stuff. I think they take that stuff into account, the ones that are trained in it and stuff like that. So you would be willing to take a polygraph on this?
Yeah. Possibly. Yeah. Whatever. But, sitting perfectly still is definitely the hard part. That's why I don't know if you get accurate readings or not.
Have you ever taken a poly before for anything?
No.
Not even when you're working at the INEL or?
No. No, and that was difficult trying to fill out that paperwork because they want to know your grade school freaking teachers.
Right.
Yeah, everything. Date of birth, every address, place of birth, county.
They do. They do. That's why I was paying someone to help me fill that paperwork out.
Well, the background check should have been pretty easy because all your stuff's in Idaho, right?
No.
Oh, no?
No, I was born in Missouri. So.
Born in Missouri? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How'd you end up out here?
My sister. Born in Missouri, moved to California. Lived in California for a while. And then my sister moved up here in the 80s. Followed her.
Do you ever get back to Missouri, or do you know any?
I got my uncle back there. But,
Oh, so you got family back there.
yeah.
Do you ever go back there and visit, or?
Went back in 2006. Was the last time I was back.
2006, the same time that you were getting the Homeland Security check?
Yeah. Maybe that Homeland Security was a little earlier then.
Where at in Missouri?
Kirksville, north.
Kirksville?
Is Drift's a pretty common name out there? I've never heard.
What's that?
Is Drift's a pretty common name in Missouri? I've never heard it here.
Not really.
Did you ever get back and see your uncle, or? No?
No.
Does he still live there?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it was 2006. I'm pretty sure it was when I was there, so I think that Homeland Security might have been a little sooner. But 'cause I know that one was for pretty sure.
Right. Well, if it was around that same time, I imagine they'd have talked to your uncle if you'd just recently been in Missouri.
Well, that was 12 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
13 years ago. 2006.
What's your uncle's name?
Bud
Bud what?
Thompson.
Thompson? Oh. Do you like Missouri?
Yeah.
Or is it getting too hot?
Yeah,
you
humidity.
And you still get the cold there, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Kirksville North, is that the name of the city, or is it just
No.
Kirksville?
It's just Kirksville.
Okay.
It's north. It's in the north part of Missouri.
Do you have any other family out here?
Not in Idaho. The rest of the family is in California.
Oh.
And you came back here, and have you been living with your mom and dad ever since?
No.
No?
No. Lived over here in Colorado for a while. Then moved to Washington for a while. And moved back here.
Washington, you said?
Yeah.
What part?
Prosser.
Prosser? Do you have family there?
No. Just a job.
What was that job?
A bridge.
And when you said you went back to Missouri to visit, how long were you there?
We were there just a couple days.
Who's we? Did you bring your...
My kids.
Well, I hope you can understand the importance of us wanting to get this case solved. I mean, especially as a family man, you know, I can't only imagine how
I know.
tough that would be. There's nothing else about that you can remember. No other people. I know you gave us a lot of first names, but we would sure like to talk to these people that you've mentioned. And
No, I can't remember anything more than what I've told you.
you've never got any other information from a family or friend that...
No.
Well, would it help to take another smoke break?
Yeah, why don't we take another smoke break and we'll get that spot taken care of and go from there.
Does that help, Brian? Get up and move around a little bit?
Yeah, maybe.
Fresh air?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. You have your smoke with you?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Brian, this
Hello.
gentleman's going to take your page. Sit up.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
My name's Jordan D. So I just need, when I do it, just open your mouth, and I'm just gonna, just in the inside of your cheek a little bit.
Thank you, sir.
And we always do it twice, just in case the other one doesn't do anything right. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to go check on that food. We're going to be right back.
You guys might want to bring a bucket in there.
Right. Here's some food here. I'm going to make you feel better.
Okay.
Put this here for you too if you need to, okay? Turn around and get something in your belly. Do you want us to leave you alone while you eat?
No, it's all right.
Are you sure? Maybe some more practice if you want. Appreciate you being cooperative with us and giving us that sample.
It's longer.
Not much. And as we talk about that sample, though, I want, it's time to ask the tough question here is, as you know from the beginning, we were able to obtain a lot of DNA from that scene. And from what we explained to you in the beginning, we're able to reprocess things that weren't processed good enough. We're able to do a lot more things that we were able to do 20 plus years ago.
Yeah, I know.
If your DNA comes back to being on scene, that means everything you've told us is a lie.
Well, everything I've told you is truthful. I was at the bar with a guy named John. Till we went back to my house and called a cab to come pick him up. And I don't recall going over there or hanging out with her. So, I don't know.
Okay. Well, if your DNA isn't at the scene, then, you know, we'll give credit where credit is due, and everything you told us seems like it pans out. There's still a few questions that we have. But if it's there, do you know how that's going to look?
No, I know. It looked pretty bad on me.
It's going to look really bad.
I know.
Especially when we want you to tell us what you know of the scene. We want you to tell us what we know of the situation or the case.
And I'm telling you everything that I know.
Are you protecting anyone else involved?
No. No. I don't know anymore, man, than what I've told you. Or that I can recall.
So what's the chances, what's the percentage that your DNA will match that on scene?
0.
0%.
At least that's what I'm hoping. 0. Because like I said, I don't recall being over there. Or ever being in that place.
Right. You made it very clear throughout the entire time that we've talked that you don't know her, that you've never spoken to her, that you've never been to her house, she's never been to yours.
Yeah. That I can recall. You know, I don't ever recall being over there. So.
All right.
If we get those results back and it shows that you were there, how would you explain that?
I don't know. Just a simple fact, yeah. You know, like I told you earlier, maybe I was over there on, you know, with a buddy saying, hey, let's go over there and get high. That thing.
Did Dateline go into any of the specifics of what types of DNA we have, how much, and
I don't recall.
any of the evidence?
I don't really recall what they got on that part, no.
Some of that information is kind of held back for investigative purposes. So sometimes people, you know, Dateline wouldn't tell you everything that we have.
One of the things we want to give you the opportunity for that is if your DNA does come back, to explain to us how and why. Because if it comes back and you don't, then you've been lying to us the entire time.
Well, like I said, if it does come back the only way I can explain it is that maybe I did go over there on it, but I don't ever recall being over there.
Okay, so you don't remember. You originally told us you were never over there.
Yeah, but like I said, I never was. As far as I can recall, I never was, but if I was, then it might have been on a, you know, scenario where I just went over there on with a friend or something to smoke, get high, but that'd be it. But like I said, I don't ever recall being there. And I don't ever recall being in my house. As far as I know. But I don't ever recall her being there.
Well, that doesn't really help you either. If your DNA or fingerprints are on the scene, that I've never been there, or maybe I could have been there.
I don't.
Because I'll tell you one thing, we've talked about the eyewitnesses that put you there. We've talked about the eyewitnesses that called you by name and that knows you there. And eyewitness testimony can make mistakes. People can make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, from what they saw, or it was dark, or it was a traumatic incident, or whatever the case is, eyewitnesses can make mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
One thing that there is no mistake on is DNA.
I know.
DNA or fingerprints or fibers or trace evidence and things of that nature.
I know.
And I don't know how in-depth Dateline got into it, but we have a lot of evidence.
I know.
And I've told you before, the technology now is way better than before. So it's not going to be put into question. If your DNA is there, how do we explain that? How do you explain that? Because if you don't, then everyone just thinks that you're lying this whole time. So how do you explain your DNA on scene?
If it's there, I don't know. If it's there, like I said, the only way I could explain it is that I went over there to get high with a friend. You know, in a group. That's the only way I can explain it.
So if that's the case, in what ways would your DNA be there?
Hair follicle, maybe. You know, from hair falling off or something.
Any other ways that you can think of that maybe your DNA would be there?
No. Not really. No.
We do have DNA samples from hair from that crime scene.
But that'd be the only way I could think of. My DNA being there if I was there. In that house.
We also have
lose hair all the time, you know.
Yeah. We also have DNA from the crime scene in other ways.
How's that?
What are some of the ways that DNA gets left at a crime scene?
Saliva, I guess. Skin. Semen. Probably. That's the only way I can think of.
Would there be a reason why your saliva is at the scene?
No.
Because you've never been there.
As I said, nothing. No.
Okay.
I don't recall ever being there.
Fingerprints? No, because you said you've never been there.
Yeah, that's what I recall. I don't recall being there.
Is there a reason your semen would be on scene?
Huh?
Is there a reason your semen would be on scene?
No. No. No.
For hair? None of that, right? Because
I was never there.
you're never there.
Unless I was, like I said.
You're never there unless you were.
But I can't remember ever being there.
And that's it. If we don't ever get a chance to talk again, that's what you want to stay. That's what you want to stick with.
Yep. Never been that I can recall.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I don't ever remember going over there. I don't know.
And you'd be willing to take polygraph?
Yep.
Can you think of anything else? Brian, can you think of anything else? Is there anything else as this winds to a close that you want to tell us?
No. No.
Do you have any other questions for us? I know when we started this process, you had some questions. I think we've answered a lot of those throughout the way. And
Yeah, just basically what this was all about was my questions.
we're clear on that now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, guess we'll see what we need to finish up.
Okay.
So let's enjoy your food. Hanging in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Brian, just to recap, the reason that we are here is because we are investigating this. We're following every lead. We're going down every lane, pulling every thread. And we have your statement to an officer that you lived in the area, that you were right across the street, and then according to that statement, from the hours of 11:30 p.m. until 0300 the next day, you're kind of unaccounted for in that statement. You've given us some answers to that, but according to that statement, we still got some questions there.
Yeah.
And then we've got somebody else in the area, another witness, who says she spoke to Brian the very next day. And I mean, you're the only Brian. Yeah. So we've got those issues. We've got, the likelihood that your circles did actually intermingle because of either drug abuse or people who drank together or, any number of factors. People saying that there's an association between the two of you. But you're adamant that you and her never had any sort of connection.
Yeah, 'cause I don't ever recall ever hanging out with her or anything. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Sergeant Marley's brought this up a couple times about, whether or not you're protecting someone or keeping someone out of this because you don't want to involve them.
Well, if I was, I'd turn them over in a heartbeat. So, but I'm not.
I hope you would, because this is a murder
I know.
we're talking about.
Yeah,
I hope you understand the severity of this case,
I do.
and I hope you understand and can appreciate why we're here 22 plus years later talking to you.
I do.
This is, this girl, this victim, Angie, she's part of a family. She's got brothers, a mom and a dad who, like you've seen some things on the news, they watch those things, but they also deal with this every single day. And they want answers. And I'm sure that you, as a family man, you've got your daughters, Courtney and Haley.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can appreciate how this would feel, what it would be like.
Yeah.
To have this unanswered question and to lose one of them.
Oh, I know. I think about that all the time too. So, I do.
So if there's anything else that you can
know,
that you can tell us.
Well, I'd tell you. Honestly, I would. So, but I can't think of anything. You know, I really can't.
I know we're trying to play, we want you to understand both sides of this.
I understand.
And we've explained the DNA evidence that we have, and we're not telling you everything that we have.
No, I know you're not.
We have a lot of DNA evidence on this.
I'm sure you do.
You're one that hasn't given a DNA sample yet. I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
But I want you to understand the
Yeah,
severity
you
of
have a choice anyway. You got to get one way or another. But
both sides of this, though.
She did give it willingly.
I know. Because if I wanted to, it would have looked really bad anyway if it would have came back.
But if it comes back you,
Yeah, then it's still going to look bad.
and if it is you, this is the only story you want to give. This is the only closure that you would want to give. If it is you, not saying that it is.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't, like I said, I don't recall being ever hanging out with her. I don't recall going over there. I don't, none of that. So, I don't.
So if it is you, well, listen to me. If it is you, and you go in front of a jury, that's the story that you're going to give. Because I was never over there. And you expect everyone to believe that the DNA evidence was wrong.
Yeah.
That the DNA at the scene, if it is you.
No reason, no way to explain it. But, yeah. Oh, excuse me. But, yeah. Like I said, I don't recall ever being there. I don't ever recall hanging out with her. None of that.
So you would just be completely shocked if we had your DNA at the scene.
Yep.
We have your DNA at the scene.
Did you?
That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
Well, from that swab you just took?
No.
Sir. You've been a subject of interest in this case for a little while, and we did our due diligence and we got a sample from you without your knowing it, and we were able to test it and confirm that your DNA matches DNA from the crime scene.
Yeah.
That's why we're trying to get it from you.
We can't answer that question.
Listen, we're not going to tell you how much.
I know.
We're not going to tell you of what. We're going to tell you that we have your DNA on this homicide scene, this murder scene.
Yeah.
So you're willing to get arrested for murder and tell us, well, I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't know her. I don't know anything about it other than your DNA is all over the scene. And you're going to risk that going in front of a jury or whomever with that story. I don't know. You've stuck to your guns the entire time. I'll give you that. You've stuck to your guns, but your DNA is on the scene. I told you the DNA is not going to lie. The trace evidence, the fibers, the DNA, the type of DNA that we have, the collection, everything is not going to lie. The eyewitness may be mistaken. Maybe it wasn't Brian, but it's a pretty good coincidence if it is.
Yeah.
But now's your time to explain why your DNA is on that scene.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think you're lying. I think you had a relationship with her at some point, whether that's an acquaintance or talking or
romantic
or
no.
Because now is all over that scene. I'll tell you, you sticking with, I was never over there, isn't going to work. It's not going to work here, and it's not going to work anywhere. You're willing to risk going to prison for murder with that story.
I could say that I never had a relationship with her. I don't recall being over there.
Well, I guess that's it then.
I don't know.
That may be the only opportunity that you have.
In no uncertain terms, you will be arrested for murder for this. Your DNA is at the crime scene.
Yeah.
Not in one fashion, not in one place, not in something innocently like flipping a light switch. It's there. It's incriminating. And this, as you know, this is a case that will get attention. You, at some point, I mean, it's in your interest to tell us what you can about this case. I mean, appreciate what Angie's family is going through, what your own family will go through. I don't know is not going to fly. It's not going to work. Nobody is going to buy that answer.
And I think throughout this process, you've wanted to tell us. And you need to tell us. During the time that we've been in here, we've been serving a search warrant on your house.
Nothing there but weed.
We found weed.
Oh, I know.
And we don't care about the weed.
I just want you to understand that there's been a lot of man hours put into this prior to us meeting today. And you don't get search warrants and you don't get, things like this out of the blue. What my partner's trying to tell you is this may be your last shot to tell us what's going on. Because I don't know, like he said, I don't know when you're going to cut it.
Yeah. Well, I guess I need a lawyer.
Yeah.
Because either way, you're going to charge me with murder, aren't you? Whether I tell you any more or not, you're going to charge me with murder, aren't you?
The only difference will be this is your time to tell us.
And the same thing is your cooperation with the buckle swab.
With the what?
With the swab.
No.
You brought it up. Why did you give us a swab?
Why did I?
Mm-hmm.
Just because if not, you're going to get it either way.
You said something else. You said there was another reason.
No, I didn't want my DNA in the database.
You told us you gave us a buckle swab because of how it would look if you didn't give us a buckle swab.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true too.
It's the same thing here. How is it going to look? Nobody's going to buy what you told us.
But I'm also telling you the truth. I never had a relationship with the girl. I never did.
And that's a possibility.
Did you know her?
No, I didn't even know her.
Have you been to her house? I know we have to be specific. Have you been in her place?
Not that I recall. And like I said, either way, you guys are going to charge me with the murder.
What do you mean, either way? What two ways are there? What other way other than
I know,
there?
you're charging me with murder.
Well, what do you mean, either way?
I don't know.
Are you going to
Well,
tell...
If I talk to you or not, you're going to, I'm getting charged with murder. So if I talk to you without a lawyer or not, is what I mean.
And that's your right. We want to make sure that you also have the opportunity to, just like the buckle swab, tell us because of how it looks. You're the only person who knows what happened. We don't know. We have some answers.
I really don't know either, to be honest.
But if we have the majority of the story and you can get us a little bit closer, how beneficial will that be for you and for everyone else involved? Without those answers, I think all we have is more questions.
I don't know.
And it's not just us that has questions. You're the only person who can bring this together. This is your time to tell us, to give your story. Not something that's conjecture or made up or part of the imagination. We can't do that, only you can.
Would you let me smoke one more cigarette?
And then will we continue to talk? Yeah, might as well at this point. But
Like I told you out there, I don't remember any details. I was drunk, all messed up. You know, shit happened. I guess. Didn't mean to kill her.
like shit happen.
I went to labor. Because I was almost up on coke and drunk.
How long have you watched her?
I wasn't.
Then how do you?
I just knew she lived there.
How did you know she was there then?
I didn't.
But you said you just were there to rape her?
Yep.
What was your plan?
Didn't have one. It was a coked up, drunken, spur of the moment, fucked up thing.
Tell about the rape.
I don't remember much of it, to be honest. She hit me. I remember that, but after that, that was about it.
How did she hit you?
I don't really remember. I think she came up across like that, but
How did you get in?
I just walked through the door.
You said you didn't mean to kill her.
No,
How did it get to that point?
that was purely accidental.
look accidental.
I know. But
That's not an accident.
I know. But I didn't mean to.
Tell us how it came about.
Like I said, I really don't recall that. I was on top of her and did my thing and then I left. I didn't realize I'd done what I did that bad. You know, I didn't realize she was dead either. Until the next day. Or until I heard about it, I guess.
How did you first hear about it?
I think it was news, maybe.
You said you were on top of her, you did your thing. What do you mean by that?
Finished raping her.
Finished raping her? And then what?
I left.
Something big happened before you finished raping her and you left.
It all happened at the same time.
Explain that to us so we can...
That's all I know, man. That's all I remember.
What did you use?
A knife.
What? Describe that to me.
Just a knife.
A buck knife?
What did you do with that knife?
Threw it in the river.
Did you use the knife after you raped her?
Different.
During?
Did she say anything?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
Did she know who you were? So you knew she was over there. It's not somebody you watched for a while, or you had to have known she was...
I knew she lived there. Well, like I said, it was just a drug trunk fueled.
Describe to me how you got in
Just walked through the front door.
and the layout of the house.
I couldn't tell you. I remember I had to walk upstairs.
You remember what?
I had to walk up some stairs.
Yeah, walk up some stairs.
But as for the layout, I couldn't remember.
And what was your initial contact with her like?
I was laying up under her bed, I believe.
Okay. And then what happened?
Just raped her.
Do you remember what she was wearing? Was this in the bed? Did you have the knife out?
I was, but, yeah,
You're hoping that what?
it would keep her calm, so she wouldn't fight. You know, I could just do my thing.
But she fought?
Yes, he hit me, and I think that's when it ended up.
Did you cut her from behind?
No, I was on top of her. Yeah, like I said, it all happened trying to wreck.
Was she moving at all when you left?
I don't remember.
What did you do after you left?
I don't know.
What happened to the clothes you were wearing?
Was John with you?
Was anybody else with you?
During this last 20 years, have you thought about telling somebody?
No.
Have you kept up with the case?
I just tried to tell you.
What did you think when you watched the Dateline?
What about it made you sad?
Well, it just did, I guess. So I figured my body's so bad it's God's way of paying me back for what I did. That's why I'm in so much pain 24/7.
Have you ever done anything like this before or since? You went over there with the knife, and the purpose of bringing the knife with you was
To rape her.
to rape her? Was the fight between you guys violent? I mean, was it a good, did
I don't think so.
she scream? Did she say anything?
Go.
Did she scratch you, or did you have any bruising?
Not that I recall, no.
What about blood on you?
I don't remember seeing much.
Did you clean up yourself at all in her house?
Where's my hand or my gloves off? But that'd be about it.
You wore gloves? What kind of gloves?
Don't remember. I think they might have been leather.
Why were you wearing gloves?
Good. My fingerprints. But I didn't think of DNA.
So you brought gloves over so you wouldn't want to leave any evidence. And you brought the knife over because you were going to rape her. You didn't bring the gloves and the knife over there to kill her?
No.
Just to rape her. Why was the need so strong at that time to rape her?
It wasn't particularly her. It was the coke and the alcohol, and it was horny.
Yeah.
Earlier, you said that her being killed was an accident. Can you explain that to me a little bit more?
And the only thing I can think of is when Young Dan was raping her and she was fighting back. That all took place, you know.
You also mentioned kind of calming her, subduing her with the knife. Explain that to me a little bit more.
Well, she was already asleep when I got there. So, and I just left the knife Idaho, you know.
Was it a folding knife?
Yeah.
And you had it open?
Yeah, I did.
Did you show it to her, or how did you try to use the knife to calm her?
When I got on top of her, I just got on top of her and I had it out like this and then started.
Did you go back to check on her? Did you check to see if she was dead before you left?
Did you do anything else with the knife?
Not that I recall, no.
And you left the same way you came in? Thanks for telling us the truth.
Will you give me one more cigarette before you lock me up?
Yeah. Is there anything else you can tell us? Anything else you need to tell us?
No, that's all I can think of. That's all I can think of.
Did you
I
ever
didn't mean to kill her. I didn't.
Okay.
I really didn't, man.
Give us just 1 second, and then
We'll get you some.
we'll come back and we'll get you and we'll take your first smoke. It'll be real quick.
All right.
Thanks for telling the truth.
Spring, I just have a few more questions for you. So you saw on Dateline that there was another conviction.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts in regards to that?
Do what?
The other conviction that we have in this case.
I'm not sorry for the guy.
Do you remember his name?
No. I don't.
We want to make sure also that you're not covering for somebody else. If there was people helping you
No, I don't.
or people with you,
Yeah, no.
because that's, the other one was pretty high publicity. They made a Dateline movie about it. You know, the guy that was, we have a conviction in this on.
I don't.
What do you think about it? I mean, I'm sure that you heard that he confessed.
I know.
What did you think about his confession?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. You know. I guess I didn't put much thought into it. I don't know, to be honest.
Did someone go with you over there?
No.
Why would the other guy confess?
I don't know. Maybe he went over there afterwards. I don't know.
Okay. Do you know if anybody went over there afterwards?
No. You know, maybe I did. You know. Maybe I did just rape when he went over there and killed her, but I don't know. So I walked into the mess and saw what was going on. Put her out of her misery. Maybe I just did it perfect. I don't know.
Where you said you had the knife up to her throat though,
Yeah, I know.
and you didn't mean to kill her.
No.
Did anybody talk about this with you, this plan of just going to rape her?
Well, like I said, it was for the moment. It was a thing at whatever time in the morning it was. You know, I didn't even know if she was home or not.
Did you tell anybody about it afterwards? Not one person ever have you told?
Did you stab her?
No, I don't think so. No.
What happened with the knife when you had it to her throat?
One thing I don't remember there was just a downward pressure like that.
Her starting to fight?
When she woke up, yeah. When I was on top of her.
Are there any details that you could give us that would explain that it was just you that was there?
Not really. I mean, a lot of it's so vague. Because I was pretty drunk. I was pretty messed up.
Did you remove anything from her house? Did you take anything with you?
No.
But do you remember what you were wearing other than the gloves and having the knife out?
No. Just clothes.
But you thought you better take some gloves. So you had, I mean, you were thinking you thought you would take some gloves for fingerprints. And so you got her when she's asleep. I mean, she wasn't up doing anything, so you kind of just surprised her while she's asleep.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you had the knife up to her throat. Is that when you first got on her, or was that during rape, or something different?
When I first got on her.
When you first got on her. Do you remember what she was wearing?
Nope.
Was she on top of the covers or under the covers?
Don't really know for sure. I think she might have been on top, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
And that wasn't something that you'd planned with any of those guys you were with earlier? Having them going over with you? Covering for anybody that was with you? And you never told anybody after?
What injuries were you aware that she received?
What do we call it here?
Do you remember any from that night?
No. I don't.
If you had to guess, what kind of injuries would you suppose?
Apparently cut her throat. That's the only thing I can think of. Like I said, I don't remember. I don't recall any of the, details. But I don't know.
Do you think there's any possibility that somebody else was there with you?
Pretty sure it wasn't, but no. Was pretty drunk. I missed it. But
When all this stuff came out on Dateline about everyone else, how did you feel?
felt bad for everybody else. But
Why did you feel bad for him?
mainly because they were doing time for something they didn't do.
Did you ever think about telling anybody then?
No, not really. Because it's been so long by then.
How long after the rape did you stay in the apartment?
It was a month or so, I think, before Nicole asked me to move down there to California with her.
Did you ever talk to Nicole about any of this?
No,
Did she ever ask about it?
no.
Do you think it changed you?
Maybe, maybe not, I don't know.
When was the closest you've ever thought, other than today, that you're going to get caught?
Pretty much right after it happened, and then whenever I get pulled over for speeding or something,
Thought maybe they knew?
I thought maybe something came up.
You said you got a little nervous when Dateline came out too, right?
Yeah. Because I thought, they found something new, so they airing it just to, stir something or bring something up, or I don't know. So I suppose you told my mom what was going on.
To be honest, we've been here with you.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
know,
sure
but
what
maybe other-
you're told. We can try to figure what we told, what your mom was told.
How long did you stay in Angie's apartment after?
I had left right after I was done getting off.
And did you know she was dead when you left?
No, I did not.
Did you know she was injured? Was she
I figured she might have been a little bit, yeah.
a little bit?
Yeah.
Was she talking? Was she fighting still?
She was a little bit, but it seemed that she was not really talking, but she was moving.
Do you remember any blood?
Yeah,
What do you remember about the blood?
not much, but I do remember blood.
What do you remember about it?
Not much. There being some
Where?
on her stomach.
How did that blood get to her stomach?
I just figured I ended up cutting her a little bit with a knife when she was fighting me.
Because she was cut more than a little bit.
Yeah, was she?
And there was Or just a little bit of blood? You obviously had it on your hands because you said you washed your hands in her place.
The gloves off. Yeah.
Yeah, wash the gloves off. What did you do with the gloves?
Buried them next to the river.
Buried them next to the river. Do you know where?
Not really. Just I went down some dirt road over there. Found the spot.
And the knife?
In the river.
Same spot?
Close.
Close. What about the clothes?
I don't recall.
So, did she say anything to you? Was she screaming, calling for help?
I don't recall that she did, no. I don't remember her screaming.
From the way you made it sound, you got her pretty quick while she was still asleep. Did you cover your face at all?
Mine?
Did you cover hers?
I don't think so.
Not with anything.
I don't remember, no.
You didn't use anything over her face?
No. I did not.
Is there any reason why you would protect somebody else?
No. There isn't.
You're not afraid for your kid's safety or for anybody else's safety?
I think the sun was covering her face. The way you keep asking me that, but I don't remember covering her face.
Okay.
Or nothing like that. And I'm pretty sure I did. And I didn't stab her, like a jab or stab. I didn't stab.
Did you already have your clothes off, or how would you get to that point?
I didn't take my clothes off. I just pulled it out and did my thing. And then I left.
Did you use anything to clean up at the scene?
No.
Anything else? Is there anything else you think that would be important for us to know?
No. Not that I can think of.
Well, if you want to keep drinking your Pepsi and your sandwich, we'll be right back.
I think we're about done, Ryan. You know how we talked about some of those big holes and all, before on that case? And I think you've asked a lot of those. One of those big holes that we still have is those, the other conviction in this case. You know what I mean? It's if you're trying to take the blame and there was other people involved, or if there was anybody else that was helping you in that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the other guy already served his time. So if there's any concern about, getting him in trouble or having something happen there, he's already been charged and convicted for this. I mean, he can't get any more trouble.
Yeah, I know.
And if there's a concern for your family, we would like to know about that, because we don't want anything to happen.
Oh, I know. There's not. I went over there to rape her. That was it.
There wasn't you weren't with other people who had a vendetta against her?
No, the vendetta thing. That Camille girl said she thought somebody had a vendetta or something against that girl, but I don't know.
But did that have anything to do with what happened?
I don't think so.
Tell us again who you were drinking with that night.
John and some other guys, I don't remember their names. And then there was a bar downtown that was downstairs.
And how many times did you go to that bar that night?
Oh, we were in and out of there a bunch of times that night. But we closed it down, and then we stayed there for about an hour or so after closing. I think it was. We stayed there after closing now, and then we left. Walked home.
Who all walked home?
John and I.
And do you know where those other guys went?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have any names on those other guys?
No, I'm sorry.
How old were they?
They were around my age. One was a little older, I think.
Your age or older?
Do you know what they did for work?
No, not really.
Did you guys smoke weed together that night, or?
I don't think they did. Well, yeah, we did. We did that too, but we also were doing coke.
Were any of the guys that you were with, were any of them younger? Like significantly, like 10 years or more?
Possibly. Maybe, yeah. But not 100% sure.
When you say a bunch of guys, how many total?
I think there was only like 6 of us.
6 of y'all together?
Yeah. That were hanging out in our little group.
Let's come back to that, I guess. But take us back again to the scene when you entered. Where did you say she was?
In her bedroom.
In her bedroom. Where at in her bedroom?
In bed.
In bed asleep?
Do you remember what kind of mattress it was?
No.
Because there's... And did the whole thing take place in her bed?
Yeah.
Is there any chance you fell out of the bed and ended up on the floor?
No, I was there, no.
Because there's nothing to indicate on the bed.
Really? We were on the bed.
And during the struggle, during the fight, when she hit you,
Sure, I was on the bed.
did you hit her at all?
Oh, I don't recall in there, no. I just remember I had the knife there and then taking off her clothes. And
How'd you take off her clothes?
well, I went in there and I just pulled her pants down.
Where did you ejaculate?
In or outside of her on the bed, I thought.
Outside of her on the bed, you thought, right?
Yeah.
Did she seem like she was a strong girl? I mean, did she put up a significant fight?
No, I don't know. I guess a little bit, maybe not.
What kind of physical shape were you in at the time?
Pretty good. I was overweight,
But pretty strong.
But big, yeah. Not that, for my, I was average, I guess.
concrete workers that I talk to think their average are usually pretty darn strong.
Yeah. Could have given us a concrete all day.
And you said she hit you how many times?
I don't think that's what she hit me.
Oh, I thought you said that she hit your...
Oh, she did, yeah. She came up around yeah. I thought she only did it once, but
Okay. And you never hit her?
I don't recall, because I just remember.
She also had injuries to her torso area. Do you know how she got those?
No.
They're stab marks. They're stabs to her torso.
Well, that a buck knife. If it's anything different than a buck knife, then it's not me.
Did she get stuck during the struggle, during the fight?
I don't think so.
I can imagine she put up a fight if she were able to hit you.
Yeah. I don't think so, because I was on top of her, so it'd be kind of...
I sure wish we could get those names of those other people you were with.
I know. I wish I could remember them, too. And I wish I could remember. It was John Brody, I'm pretty sure, because he was my friend.
So when did John leave?
In Idaho.
When did he leave from your apartment?
Oh, it was shortly after we got back to the house.
How much longer after that did you?
I'd say within how much longer after that did I go? I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. Probably shortly after, maybe, but
If you had to guess, I mean, what would you say is shortly after?
15, 20 minutes maybe.
And this is
After John left.
after John left in the taxi.
Yep.
That's when you went over.
Yep.
And you and John never talked about it?
No.
Did you and John associate after that?
Yeah. Yeah, we did. Wait a minute. I think his wife might have known her or something. I can't remember his wife's name.
You think John's wife might have known her?
Yeah, or knew of her or something.
And how do you know that?
Because I think John mentioned something to it now that you keep hounding me about it.
What did he mention?
When we were working. But that's about the only thing I can recall right now.
Okay, that's pretty vague.
I know.
John's wife, you think John's wife knew the victim?
Or I think.
And
I vaguely remember him saying something about to that effect, but I don't really recall 100%.
Did he speak kindly of her, or was he upset with her?
I really didn't tell you on the mood, how it was.
was this before or after?
It was after.
It was after. Do you remember what the context was that John had spoke about her in? But John knew she was dead.
Yeah, that's how, because that's how they brought up the conversation of knowing the girl and his wife.
Right.
Or his wife knowing the girl was dead.
That was dead.
Yeah, she,
And did John ever question you that she lived right across the street if you knew anything about it?
no.
Do you remember John's wife's name?
No.
Had John ever talked about the victim before this?
No. Don't think so, no.
How certain are you that John is his name?
80%, 90%, between 80 and 90% sure.
Is
John is his name.
Is there another name that you're thinking might be?
No, John's the only name I can think of that would be his name.
If you were to find John now, how would you go about doing that?
No clue. Wouldn't even know.
What if you knew of a family emergency? I mean, I don't know how that would play out exactly, but I mean, if there were dire circumstances, how could we get a hold of John?
I really don't know. I mean, you try to see if Peter Kiewit has any records from that job.
Peter Kiewit?
Yeah, Kiewit is the company's name. But you could see if they might have his name from that job. And
was he on your crew?
Yeah, he was out there. I was just a worker then. Peter Kiewit's the name of the company. Well, Kiewit's the name of the company. They're a worldwide size company.
Okay.
So.
But John lived in Idaho Falls.
Yep.
Is he from Idaho Falls?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because his mom, like I said, worked at that one little thing, whatever that's outside Idaho Falls. I can't remember what it was.
Some resort you talked about.
Yeah, little, whatever it was.
Do you remember if that resort was north or south or?
I think he went kind of north of town and east.
North and east.
I think that's what he went to get there.
Was John ever at the victim's apartment?
Don't know. No bother with him.
But you said he never mentioned her or knowing her until after he found out she was dead.
Yeah.
So was he ever there after the death?
No.
And not that you know before.
No.
And you're not trying to cover for him.
No. Don't know. I could put it on someone else. I would.
If you were trying to convince us that nobody else was there, how would you do that?
Just say I did it, I guess. I don't know. But like I said, I went over there to do something stupid, and I thought she was alive when I left.
And what made you think she was alive when you left?
I don't know. I just thought that.
There's some pretty significant injuries.
That's what you keep saying.
I can't imagine you thinking that she's alive after those injuries. Unless you can give me something.
Well, I didn't really look at her, you know. I came and had my head down. And then when I was finished, I just got up and left. Because I wanted to get out. In case you want to get up and run after me or something, you know.
Did you move her at all from where you raped her?
No.
If you had to describe the struggle between you two, how was the struggle?
It was pretty easy, actually. I mean, all I remember was just that, and I was on top of her, and I got off her, and out the door I went.
And you washed the gloves. You said that.
Gloves, yeah.
Did you clean up anything? Wipe anything else off? Your penis? Any of the blood?
I don't remember doing it.
So you may have cleaned off your penis before you left?
Maybe not. Yeah, but I don't remember. I might have.
What do you think you would have used to do that?
Don't know. Somewhat handy, maybe.
Something handy, is that what you said?
Yeah.
And you don't remember the bedding, the blankets? Can you describe anything else in the room? Were the lights on or off?
I don't believe they were off.
There's a good chance there would have been a significant amount of blood and some some spraying even?
A what?
There would have been a significant amount of blood and some spraying.
Yeah.
Is there anything that would have impeded that or contained the blood, like kept it to like one location that you could think of or remember?
No.
So during the act, the lights were off?
Yeah.
Could you see what was going on?
Just from the street light, I guess, or there was some outside light coming in through the window maybe or something, I don't know, but it was dark.
Were the lights all off in the house, or was there any light on? All the lights were off.
I believe so, yeah, because it was dark, except for what little lights that were coming in through the windows. Yeah, it was dark. Yep.
How do you know she kept her door unlocked?
I didn't.
You didn't?
Did you expose her breasts in any way?
What?
Did you expose her breasts in any way?
I don't recall. Maybe.
The injury to her, to her throat is obviously what you've described in detail. But the other injuries to her, there was some other injuries to her during this time. Can you explain those?
No, I don't remember. No, I can't.
Okay.
Did you strike her at all?
No, I don't remember striking her.
Kick her, hit her with anything?
Is your family on your dad's side from Missouri as well?
No, they're from Iowa.
They're from Iowa? Iowa. Do you remember the name usury coming up at all during the dateline? What's your connection to the usuries?
Nothing to the usuries. Usuries now, on the other hand, is my original last name.
Usry is your original last name? Explain that.
I never knew my real dad. He split when I was young. So, Trips is an adopted name.
Okay. How did you know that Usry was your original?
My mom.
Mom told you? And have you met anybody from the Usry?
Nope. Oh, wait. I did. I met my brother once.
Your brother?
Yeah. Yep. When I was 32.
Who's your brother?
I knew you would ask me that. I think his name's Mike.
Mike?
Yeah.
Where did you meet him at?
When we were living in California.
Really?
Yeah. He was in the service. I think, yeah, he was in the service.
Really?
His wife actually is the one that got him, found him, and introduced me to him.
What branch is he in?
He was in the Marine Corps.
Really? You guys are both Marines, never knew each other?
Yep.
Wow.
Do you still stay in contact with him?
You know, lost contact with him 22 years ago.
About the same time this was going on?
Well, no, it would be with Matt. Well, yeah, because I guess it was after that I met him. So I guess it wasn't quite that long ago, but I met him in California after my ex-wife and I moved down there. And then we got to meet each other and we kept in contact for a little bit, but then when he got out of the service, we kind of fell apart and quit talking, I guess.
When you saw the usury thing on Dateline, what did that make you think?
At first I thought, oh, wow. And then when you were saying usury, I'm like, it's spelled the wrong way and it's being pronounced the wrong way, so I thought, okay.
still have to give you a little bit of concern. That's pretty close.
I know.
Do you have anybody from that family in Idaho?
No. There was, I guess. I never met him. But I guess there was, I think, an uncle that lived somewhere on the other side of the state.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or somewhere, no, it's somewhere around Hagerman, I think it was.
Hagerman?
I think.
An uncle, so your dad's brother.
I think. Yeah. I think it was an uncle. Yeah.
Okay.
But that was 26 years ago, I heard that.
And you haven't kept up on this news story? You haven't looked on the computer? You haven't saved anything, read it in a newspaper? Just completely tried to block it out?
Google searched it or anything like that?
No.
Anything else? Okay.
We'll keep on feeding you water and soda all day long.
Give us a minute. We'll be right back, okay? We'll get you to the bathroom, Jim.
Right. So is there anything else that you think we should know or that you'd like to tell us?
No, I don't know anything else. I've already told you.
Okay. Well, Brian, at this point, it's our obligation to tell you that you are under arrest for the charges of rape and murder. And you're going to be placed in handcuffs and taken to the local jail. And you'll await transport back to Mohindo County.
Can't smoke the last cigarette before you do that.
That's going to be up to this other officer, but I don't see a problem with that.
This is Officer Gregory.
Do you have a problem with him smoking one more cigarette on the balcony before we go?
You can do that, I guess.
He's been on duty already.
Okay,
It's not
that's fine.
the chief that knows, so.
Thank you.
Nearly 23 years after Angie Dodge was killed, Brian Dripps was convicted of first-degree murder and rape and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole.